Welcome to the Lucky Ones podcast. I'm your host, Lucky the Purple Rain Wood, and tonight I am joined by a very well-deserved, famous female arm wrestler all the way from Canada, Miss Madi Daneliak. Welcome in. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Of course. I'm glad to have you and chat with you, and I'm really excited. I'm a big fan, so you've definitely done some impressive work on the table over the last few years. So I'm just excited to get to hear your story and chat with you a little bit.
I'm super excited to tell it.
Awesome. Well, kick us off. How'd you get started in arm wrestling?
So I started in high school. I think it was end of 10th grade. A couple of my guy friends and we decided to go to one of Devin Laird's practices. It was nearby. The guys were really into it, and I was like, sure, I'll follow along. Not really thinking anything of it.
Sure.
And then I got absolutely hooked. And since then, I'm still the only one that continues to go and to be a part of the sport.
That's awesome. So I think that's awesome that it's very fortuitous that you got hooked going to Ottawa High Hookers. So it speaks well of them that they really do hook people in.
They really do. Yeah, right. It's one big family there.
That's awesome. So, and I'm sure, like, when you first started out, like, you're, like you said, you're in 10th grade, you're going with some guys, and, like, I mean, did you know Devin and, like, the significance of going to his practice for that being your first time, or was it something that you, like, now you look back on and go, whoa, that was really cool?
Yeah, I mean, nobody really knew, like, Devin was well known at that point in the arm wrestling world, but he hadn't yet expanded to the rest of the world.
Gotcha.
And when you look back from, like, today, he, he's grown over the past 7-8 years exponentially. And back then, it was just like a practice in the garage. No big deal. So.
Gotcha. Well, that's awesome. So what's kind of been your favorite thing that since you've gotten into the sport?
If I had to pick one thing, it would probably be just the atmosphere. Like when you go to a tournament, it's so intense, but everybody is so welcoming and so encouraging and helpful. Like if you forget something, somebody else is happy to lend you whatever it is, right? Like it's just one big helping community. So I'd say that's my favorite thing.
Very cool. Did you do any other like sports or recreational activities like growing up?
I did competitive ringette. I don't know if that's big in the US.
Tell me all about it.
So it's basically like the female version of hockey. So it's just kind of like a slightly different version. It's got, instead of a puck, it's got like a rubber ring. It's got a stick with like no blade. So you have to stab the ring. I was a goalie for over 10 years.
Oh, so dang.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Up.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Sorry?
You played on ice or like a gym floor? You played on ice.
No, on ice, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. Man, when I come to Canada, I'm gonna have to like check out like a club or something and go check out this sport. I've never even heard of it, to be honest. Like that's so cool.
Oh, totally. It's so much fun.
I bet. So did you start as like a obviously like do they have like the sports like it's like little league and then like teen and then like goes into high school or
kind of, yeah, they have like different age groups. Usually it's increments of 2 years. I started late, so I started when I was 12, I think.
Okay.
So that's considered late in the ice hockey and ice, ringette sports.
Sure.
But I stayed with it until technically I still play, but I had hip surgery this year.
Ooh.
last year, so I'm still recovering from that, and I'm waiting on another one, so I can't play until then.
Oh man! All right, well, good luck to you. I hope it works out pretty good with that, and you get all recovered so you can play. Because I want to come and watch that. Like that sounds so legit. So, do you play for like at this age? I guess would you be considered like a professional league, or you play like rec league?
It would be considered rec league.
Okay.
Like there's no real money in ringette. You know, you can make it to like the national ringette league, and that's like the most you can go.
Okay.
But it's
so,
not
similar to arm wrestling, where it's like a very niche thing.
Yes, yeah, exactly. There's a cap for sure.
Nice. Very cool. That's awesome. Sorry, didn't mean to. I mean, I did mean to sidetrack, but like that's so cool. It's funny because the last like 4 or 5 shows, like the girls who have been arm wrestling do like really cool things outside of arm wrestling or whatnot, and like I'm just like, ooh, tell me all about your other niche things that you do. So I love it.
And ringette is very. Sorry.
No, go for it. Yeah, it's very.
Ringette's very special because it was made for women. So there's only women in the sport.
Man, I wish that was the case for arm wrestling.
Right?
I love it. That's so cool. I wonder what other was lacrosse only made for women? I feel like
No.
I know that I know like there's male. I know like there's now like a lot of male lacrosse players, but I didn't know if they like started out with like male leagues and stuff. Because I know there is now. But who knows? That'd be cool if it was like the only one. Sweet. I don't know. I have to do some research. I'm not gonna research it, but maybe one day when I'm bored.
Of course.
Very cool. So when you're not doing that right now because you're chilling, getting everything all set up so you can come back into it bigger, better, stronger than ever. And so what's your life outside of sports look like?
Well, my hip surgery has caused a lot of change to happen. I can't work yet because my job was very physically demanding, so they won't allow me back until I have my second surgery. So honestly, I train. That's it. I'm kind of living the life, but also it's pretty boring sometimes.
Sure. Man, but I guess that is kind of like legit when like your whole like the rest of your world kind of just shuts down a little bit and you can really focus. You're having your own little personal COVID time.
Pretty much. That's what it feels like.
Wow. Well, not cool. I'm sorry you're going through this, but also like that's pretty awesome that you're getting all this time to really focus on training and really focusing on your goals and everything. That's awesome. That's legit.
Yeah, I mean there is always a plus side, right?
Right. So, what does training look like for you being full time?
I try and get a lot of table time. Table time is a big one. I have a table at home. My boyfriend, he is also an arm wrestler, so we can train together. We go to the gym together, whatever the case may be. We've been doing a lot of tournaments and super matches lately, so I find that does kind of disrupt my training process because you want all that rest. You don't want to be sore, but it's a work in progress.
How much rest time do you give yourself before like a big match?
I've been trying, so I've tried like 2 weeks.
Okay.
I tried a week. My next one, honestly, I think I won't do a lot of rest. Like I'll just kind of go easier, but not stop. And then I'll see how that goes.
Okay.
'Cause it's really hard to kind of judge like how sore are you? Does that really affect it that much?
Right. Yeah. No, that's fair. I definitely, for me, like I would say, like the most that I do is a week, much to people's dismay. And sometimes to my own dismay where I'm like, probably should have held off a little longer than that. But like I think like for me, because I'm still like newer in it, sometimes I get like more I psych myself out. Like if I go longer than a week, I'm gonna forget everything.
Fair enough. Well, and everyone's different, right? Like,
Right.
someone can take a week off and they're the strongest they've ever been in a week.
Right.
But everybody's different, especially, men and women, we're very, very different biologically, so who knows?
Very true.
Sorry, ignore the cat. It's
Oh, you're
scary.
good. I'm actually surprised that mine walked past me and didn't like completely interrupt the show and ruin everything. So,
My
yay.
animals are a little bit clingy,
Oh,
so they have to be in the room.
yeah. Anytime I'm sitting anywhere, I have two guarding me right now and one pacing behind me, going back and forth, making sure like if she stops talking in a second, I'm gonna get her to pet me.
Uh,
So yeah, no, I totally understand about clingy pets. I have a full dachshund, and his favorite place to be is right here.
oh my gosh,
And I'm
that's
just like,
funny.
bro, get out of my face, please. He's like, but I need you to know that I exist. Very cool. So what's been your favorite exercise or exercise you think all arm wrestlers have to do to be successful?
Honestly, if I had to pick one, it would be table time, 100%. You
Smart.
you can't like, there's just certain things that you can't replicate in the gym,
Right.
right? And you can't replicate that without holding onto someone's hand and feeling that natural resistance.
Right.
So, that's what I would say, table time.
I agree. That's great. Very smart. Very smart. So you're in Ottawa, correct?
Mhm,
Ontario, which is awesome. Gotta make it up there. So excited one day. I'm
definitely.
gonna come up and harass y'all here shortly. Um, but have you been able to compete in other places, parts of Canada? Have you been down here to the States? What's like your favorite place to compete at?
So last year, the end of last year, I did actually start competing in the US, mostly New York.
Nice.
I did the shot callers 50 cal.
Mhm.
I had a super match there, and then I did the tournament.
Very cool.
Um, this weekend, I'm going to Rochester for the MAC event and the free women's tournament. So
Nice.
that's gonna be really exciting. Atlantic City, I did Atlantic City for East versus West. I did that little tournament there
Yep.
with Michelle Dugan, and that was pretty cool. Favorite spot? My favorite tournaments and events would have to be the arm melters. Because the arm melters, they go way back. Like I did the arm melters when I first started.
Yep.
Um, so to me, it's I'm comfortable with the events, and
Right.
I find that they're well run in the aspect of they make sure that the women aren't forgotten. I know that sometimes we get either put first or last or kind of shoved to the side.
Right.
And they do a really good job. Joe and Rebecca do a really good job to make sure that it's very equal and fair.
I love that. Shout out to them for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, they had that last weekend. That event Saturday was very solid and very. I felt like it was entertaining and like everybody really. You could tell that nobody was lost in the shuffle.
yeah.
So that's really cool. Awesome. Awesome. So, being up in Canada, you obviously have different pullers than we have here in the States, but obviously we all know like the big names like Devin and all that. So who do you kind of look up to in the sport up there? Coach, male, female wise, promoter wise.
It's hard to really pick one. I mean, I have to shout out Devin because, I started arm wrestling with him. I started arm wrestling with Ottawa High Hookers.
Right.
Devin and Jody, they've always been great to me. but I've met so many other people throughout my years of arm wrestling that it's kind of hard to pick just one person because, you know, you may look up to this person as, you know, you like the way they carry themselves, but then you don't like the way their pulling style is. You know, you just I try to pick up a piece of all the good stuff from everybody and not just kind of one person. If that makes sense.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Well, and yeah, I think, you know, people ask like all the time, like, you know, what was your favorite episode of the show? I'm like, first of all, y'all, we have like over 70, so that's not funny. Don't ask me that. And then second of all, like, I like, you know, each specific one for another reason. You know, either it's like me and the other person like really hit it off really well, and like we're like, yeah, we're like two peas in a pod, or like it's super educational, or you know, super funny, or you know, nothing went wrong and I didn't sound like an idiot. Like, you know,
Exactly.
and so I think that's a very fair statement to just be like, you know, like you can like several things for different reasons, and you can like several things even for the same reason. You know, like I don't have a favorite female arm wrestler. Yeah, I could, you know, rank them, you know, top 10, but like even that I'd be like they're all equally number one. You know, these 10 ladies.
Exactly. Like I have a list. Like I have a list of like female arm wrestlers that I want to eventually pull with.
Sure.
You know, like I had this big long list of, you know, Devin and I talked about it, and like I want to get everybody together in Canada at some point within the next, you know, 5 years, let's say. And it would be great to have all of the great female arm wrestlers come and pull together. I think that would be a cool thing to see.
That would be really cool. And you are the girl to do it because you've already had some really great success with that, which we'll talk about here in a minute for sure. So I love that. I love that. So, what has been obviously Ottawa High Hookers is, you know, an amazing team. You talked about the arm melters. So tell me a little bit about your promotion with the Turn and Burn, um, with Female Club. What's happening with that?
So, I created it obviously because I'm off work and, you know, what am I gonna do with my time? I thought now is the best time to try, and the idea behind it is to bring a bunch of female arm wrestlers and even new female arm wrestlers together to be able to practice at least, you know, more consistently, like once every couple weeks or once a month we do a huge practice, you know, like that kind of stuff. I would love to just be able to make it accessible for women and comfortable for women to come and practice. Like there's no better practice for women than pulling with other women. There's just nothing that replicates it. You know, pulling a man is never going to be quite the same as pulling a woman.
Right.
So that was 100%. The
100%.
idea behind it.
I love it. And so was that last like 2 weekends ago, I believe it was that your first time really bringing everybody together and trying it out?
That was the second official practice.
Okay.
The first one was a little bit last minute. We didn't get as many, like wintertime, honestly, it's really hard to travel in Ontario. It makes it nearly impossible. Like nobody wants to make the 2-hour drive.
Sure.
This last practice, we had such a great turnout.
Right.
There were
girl. How many females you have out there?
We ended up having, I had to go back through the pictures and count, but we ended up having about 37. So that's pretty good. Yeah.
Including yourself?
Not including myself.
So 38. So okay.
30. Yeah.
Wow. Man.
And we were expected to have more. We were expected to have a few others travel down, but we had a huge, you know, storm coming, and people were like, you know what, now's not the day to travel. So
for sure. No, that's fair. Safety first, 100%. But 38 females.
It was crazy to see. It was amazing.
So, and you know, and just to kind of just paint the picture for our audience too, like how many of those were like seasoned, how many of those were like dabbling, and how many of those were people that were like invited just to, try it out? Do you know?
I would say over 60% were pullers that regularly pull.
Nice.
Some of my family, like my mom came out, my sister came out.
Sure.
That was really cool. And then some of the pullers brought their siblings or their family. So it did kind of add up to that, but I think over 60% were sorry.
No, that's fine. She's hyping you up. I love it.
Over 60% were definitely like more seasoned pullers.
That's awesome. So yeah, going to this, you would definitely, walk away being able to have, shown people some stuff on the table, but also as a puller, been able to really, get a solid workout, get some good hands, get some good advice.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like even though I've been in the sport 8 or so, 9, almost 9 years, I think, I still learn new things every day.
Oh yeah. Oh,
every time I pull somebody new, it's, I'm learning something different.
Definitely.
The sport is just ever evolving and there's new techniques all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. That's awesome. So where do you see, so I know, like, so this question is obviously, like, where do you see arm wrestling going for the next 5 to 10 years? We called the Jesse, because Jesse Underover came up with it, which I love it. But, co-signing with, or going along with that same question or type of question, where do you see like turn and burn happening and going, and what is your vision for it?
My vision is to not just stay in Ottawa. Ottawa is great for arm wrestling. There's a lot of arm wrestlers in the area, but I want to expand. I want to make it more accessible. I want to have, let's say we do a special practice in Toronto, or we do a special practice if, I go to the States or, whatever, kind of wherever there's a group of women and they want to all get together. It can be a turn and burn practice. It doesn't matter the location. It's more about getting a bunch of women together. So I hope to kind of expand into other places other than just Ottawa.
I love that. So that would be really cool, because if I'm just kind of picturing like a huge like van that says like turn and burn with your face on it, and then you're like driving around with like 8 tables in the back, and you're like, all right, females, I'm gonna be set up here. It's like a little pop-up club. Like, we have like the Mary Kay cars or whatever down here in the States.
Oh yeah. I've definitely had dreams like that, where I'm driving like this big bus full of, arm wrestling women, and I just stop and we arm wrestle.
I love
it. That is in there in the vision.
I love it. Hey, girl, make it happen. Pop off. Come down to Virginia. Don't forget about me. That would be awesome. That would actually be really fun too. To if you had like a group of ladies, from Canada or whatever, that had the availability and the time, and you could go somewhere into like a centralized location, and then like everybody from the surrounding area would come in, because then you could guarantee, because so many ladies, the big complaint that we have on the show is, I don't want to go to this tournament, or I don't want to go here because we don't know what ladies are going to be there, or if we're going to have competition. And for me, I have no problem pulling in the men's class, but at the same time, like, yeah, I want to grip up with ladies. Like, I would like to have a class. So, if you could pull together like a team and like, different weight classes, different experiences, different styles, and you're like, and then I'm sure, people would come together and be like, hey, let's get the Turn and Burn crew here. And then everybody from the surrounding area could come and, just have those really big, awesome female practices. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, that's honestly, that's the big idea of it. Like, when I go to a tournament, a lot of the times I don't want to pay the fee, because usually there's 2, 3, maybe 4 women, especially in my weight class. Like I'm only 125 pounds. So there is no weight class for me. I'm pulling in the 0 to 154, 20, 30 pounds heavier than me. not as encouraging, you know? I'm kind of reluctant to pay the whatever $20-$40 an arm just to get absolutely crushed by, let's say, the same 3 ladies, you know? Like, there just needs to be more women, more competition. Doesn't matter, you know, what age, it doesn't matter what experience level, we just need more of them to come and to sign up for the tournaments, because then we can have new, better weight classes. You know, once the women's part is more established and we get, you know, I don't want to say we get as many numbers as the men because that is hard to do. But if we could do that, you know, the world is our oyster for arm wrestling. Like, we would have everything we wanted, and then it would be great. And then we would get even more ladies, and it would just be a continuous loop of, you know, growth. So.
For sure. And yeah, I mean, and even to do like, you know, depending on how you would really set it up, and you know, with the right, you know, funding or fee or whatever you wanted to really do, you could even do like all female tournament, like mobile all female tournaments that, you know, you travel to them, they bring in the ladies in their area, and then you guys run a full blown tournament. And like, if you guarantee, you know, 4 weight classes and you have 8 ladies and 2 ladies for each weight class, you know, that guarantees, you know, they're showing up to pull somebody for sure.
Yeah, at least, right? And, you know,
and then whoever else in the area, you know, because I know a lot of lightweight girls are like, we're tired of the 154 class. Give me somebody 110. This is ridiculous.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, you know, so no, you know, the class pullers love to have class pullers, you know, and that's fair. You know, that is fair. So me, I'll pull anybody. Doesn't really bother me, but I'm also not like a lady lightweight either. So it's easier for me to go back and forth.
Yeah, like honestly, I would pull in the men's if there were people. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I live in a full house. I would love to pull with the guys, but also, which guys are 125 pounds? Like, realistically, most of the guys that are going to come and sign up for an arm wrestling tournament are going to be heavier than I am. Right. So my goal is also to just get so strong and strong enough that I can pull in the men's, and it doesn't matter what weight class, but, you know, that is a very high goal.
For sure. For sure. Well, after you get your other hip surgery, you become a cyborg. You'll be knocking everybody down left and right.
So much. Yeah. Oh, it does definitely, it hindered my training for quite a bit because, I mean, I was on crutches for 6 weeks. Like, wow. I pulled in a tournament on crutches.
I saw that.
It was good. It was fun, but it was kind of crazy.
Right. For sure. Yeah, I broke my foot like 2 months before my first tournament. And so, yeah, I was practicing in a boot. I can't remember, I feel like I got my boot off like the week of the tournament. I don't think I pulled it, but I know like all of my training up until that point literally had been me chilling in a boot.
Oh my god.
I think that was my first time like out of it, like out and about without the boot. So.
That's funny.
Right. Well, shout out to the chat. Thank you everybody for joining us on this odd time of the week. We're not usually live over here, so I appreciate the love and support from our fellow followers. We got Aggie and the Drew, and I saw Ryan Boussier. How's it going? So, and then Calvin Jones joining in too. So, thank you. Shout out to the chat. Y'all are the real ones. Appreciate y'all. So, tell us a little bit about, so obviously you've done a lot of super matches. You've done a fair amount of tournaments. Tell us about your favorite match that you've had so far.
My favorite match, and I was thinking about this one for a while because it's honestly really hard to pick just one.
Sure.
My favorite matches by far, I'm gonna lump them into like one event.
For sure.
The Shot Callers 50 cal the tournament that was run by Dan Santrella and Dan Schwartz, I believe is his last name.
Yep.
That one was by far my favorite. We did like because there was only 5 or 6 women, we did like a round robin, like queen of the table, I'm gonna say, kind of thing at the very end.
Nice.
And that was a lot of fun to get to just pull everyone.
Yeah.
So those are definitely my favorite matches.
Yeah. And definitely shout out to Dan the Nightmare. He does a really good job of trying to bring in the ladies and treat the ladies fair, making sure the matches are fair and there's weight classes and yeah, I've definitely seen a lot. And I mean, he doesn't have a lot of ladies in his area right now that really come out for stuff, but the fact that he's like striving for it and willing to bring people in from the outside is awesome. So I really appreciate all the work that he does to support the female arm wrestlers.
Yes, and he's so good to us Canadians. He's honestly like so inviting. He's like, anything you need, I got it.
Like
Don't
you
worry.
Canadians more than he likes the American. I'm convinced.
Sometimes it seems that
way. No, but I think he's just very passionate about arm wrestling, and I mean, you know, like I'm sad that he doesn't have his podcast anymore, but like you can just tell that he loves the positivity and the drive of arm wrestling, and so
for sure,
he's definitely a good voice to be listening to in the sport for sure. Just always remaining positive and upbeat, and you know, keeping the sport for what it is. So that's
cool. Yeah, he's definitely a good one. Good guy just in general, too.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So what are some accolades that you have in the sport so far in your 9 incredible years?
You know, I don't really have a lot of, you know, medals, titles. You know, I haven't done any crazy championships. I didn't do provincials. I haven't done I did Ottawa Open back in 20 it was before COVID. Okay. It was at the very beginning, so I didn't really place that well. Honestly, I don't remember what place I came in. More recently, I'm honestly just focusing more on training and just expanding socially. Like getting to meet all these wonderful people, like traveling to the States, meeting all these people from the States, you know, all the new and different arm wrestlers around US and Canada. Like it's just great to meet those people. So I feel like when it comes to accomplishments and all that, aside from the Turn and Burn group, like just the fact that I've met so many people and I've got to travel, you know, driving wise, I've gotten to travel to be able to go to some of these tournaments and super matches. I'm happy with that.
So. I love that. Man, I couldn't love that more. So great answer for sure. But yeah, I feel like the being able to grow in the community in a positive way and just be there for other people, I feel like speaks more volumes than any medal you could win. To be honest, like if you can be somebody that's, you know, reliable and encouraging and just excited to be in the moment and excited to be a good competitor and, you know, working to build the sport like you are, you know, we have enough people trying to tear it down. To have somebody to try to build it up is truly amazing. So it's like the rose among the thorns. So great job for sure.
Thank you. That's definitely my biggest accomplishment, I think, so far is just creating more growth, just a little bit more.
Yep. Definitely. 100%. I love that. For sure, for sure. So what are some things that you do want to so we have this awesome vision for not we, obviously, but you. I meant like a royal we. So you have this awesome vision for Turn and Burn. So is that like really, like, obviously that's what your dream right now is and all your goals. Is there something else that you're like, well, so this is what I'm focusing on right now, but eventually I would like to get here?
Right now I am focusing on just growing the sport and getting more women. I'm not really focusing so much on like my own growth and like my competitions and stuff. Like I love competing, but I think that I get more out of practicing and more out of, getting to see other people grow as well. So eventually I would like to focus on and, win more super matches and, actually place podium in tournaments. Like right now I'm kind of just, you know, I had a super match on the weekend with one of my good friends, Kyrie. And during practice, we're fairly even. We kind of go back and forth. But I have such a hard time with hitting the go. I cannot hit the go to save my life. So I'm always kind of catching up, and usually I end up losing because I'm 10 seconds behind. So
Sure.
that's
You
the
watched
biggest.
the ref?
I did end up watching the match over again. And
No,
yeah.
watching the ref. So like I have to always
Oh,
watch
watch
the
the
ref.
refs.
Yeah. That's the only way. Like if I'm not looking at the ref, your girl never gets the go. But if I'm looking at the ref, then it's like 30%. I get the go. So to go from 0 to 30, it's not super impressive, but
That's still improvement, right?
right. It's still there's still a chance. There's still a chance.
So I did for the super match I did try to watch the ref, but I think for me it's still kind of overwhelming.
Sure.
I don't know, like it's kind of hard to think when you're, betting on the table on, a stage versus practice. It's pretty normal. Even a tournament I tend to do a little bit better.
Right.
I feel like what I would do if I wanted to hit the go more often than not would be ref script. So going to ref script, that way,
Okay.
it's close your thumbs, close your hands, and then usually there's a go like right after that. So you can kind of time it a little bit better, but
that's fair.
Just in like regular competition and no ref script, I do pretty terribly.
Right.
Pretty terribly.
And that's what's funny about like arm wrestling is so personalized and a personalized experience. Like for me, like I'm nearly always, even if I'm watching the ref, will miss the go in a ref script. Like because I'm so focused on don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move. And then when they say go, I'm like, oh yeah, I was supposed to go there.
Yeah, like there's a delay, right? Yeah,
Right.
honestly, that's a really tough one.
Ryan says, I'm always watching the rest match. Yep. That's what I try to do for sure. And then is it nerves? No problem going early and getting a foul.
That is true. I have been told that, and I should listen to people, but sometimes I don't.
Right? Yeah. I think I can't do it. Like for me, like I don't know what it is. But yeah, like for me, just watching his mouth, waiting for that go, like I don't I want to say 30%. Like, there's a 50-50 chance that I'm gonna do pretty solid.
Well, and I
What
think I
up?
know why I hesitate.
Hey, if y'all are not following Jody Williams' page, go ahead and click there. Head on over and subscribe. He's doing an amazing job getting these ladies who are on Queen of the Wing and Queen of the Table. He's getting a bunch of interviews. They're having a fantastic time over there. Last night's show was hilarious because of the great and wonderful Leah Hennessy. And Jolene Clark too. So shout out to her, Midwest ladies, arm wrestling ladies. So I think like with you kind of with your turn and burn, and then she's holding a all female practice in the Midwest, in Minnesota, and so between the two of y'all, like I'm excited that there are like people going out setting up these practices for the ladies to show up to and have those hands to grip. So.
Oh yeah, and I for sure want to make it out to her big practice. I'm hoping to bring some of the Ottawa ladies with me as well. That's the goal. But
I love it.
You can only fit so many people in a van, so we'll see.
For sure. We'll get you one of them 12-passenger vans.
Perfect. I don't know if they'll let me drive it yet. I'm only 24, but
True. Fair enough. We'll get Devin to drive it, then everybody will go.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That would be
Actually,
funny.
no, just kidding. I've only ever seen Jody drive, so maybe Jody should drive it. I've actually never seen Devin behind a wheel. That might be a reason. There might be a reason for that.
There might be a reason, yeah.
Awesome. Yep. Huge fans of both those ladies, so make sure y'all check that out tomorrow. I put the little thing up. I have a game tomorrow night, so I won't be able to catch at least one. I'll be able to catch one of them live because of the game schedule, but the other one I'll have to check the replay. So, thanks, Jody. Appreciate you. Well, very cool.
Yeah. I think there's another podcast going on, an interview going on tonight. Is that correct? On a different page?
Is Courtney?
Or maybe it's just being recorded?
Is Courtney happening tonight on Through the Fingers?
I don't remember.
Ryan, where you at?
I think there's another one.
That's why that's one of the I think you're right. I saw Courtney's picture on a Through the Fingers podcast link, but I wasn't sure when they were going live. I know they go live at 8 tonight, so in 1 hour and 12 minutes, head over to Through the Fingers.
There you go.
I'm messing it up. All right, Ryan said, I've also noticed that 9 out of 10 times because I don't cap my thumb, I get closed by default, and it seems to help that a lot. See, but if I don't cap, I drop my wrist. Like,
yeah,
me, like I have to cap because, like I know you don't have to drop your wrist to not cap, but for me, my mind just does not work uncapped. I'm like, cover my thumb, please.
Well, you know what? Like, I've never really tried uncapping my thumb because I was always taught from the very beginning to cap your thumb. So, I don't know. Might have to try it out. I feel like I would end up just dropping my wrist and then not doing anything with my fingers. I feel like that would be the likely outcome of that, but
for sure. I think it also depends on like the strap or no strap. Too. Like, because I do a pretty decent job in the strap of being able to move my fingers around more because I feel like it gives me like that security blanket. Like they not going anywhere. I can move my fingers.
They're tied to me. I can't run.
Yeah, let me climb all over the place. but then without it, I'm just like, don't let go, don't let go, don't let go. So,
no, that is true.
What Courtney is on the 154 right hand national ranks at number 8 right now, Calvin. So, because she beat Danielle at Immaculate.
Right. Yes.
I hook uncapped. It also shortens my thumb, so they get a lower grip, so they don't cover it. Interesting. I love it.
That is interesting. All these different techniques. It's interesting.
For me, if I don't cap, then my attention goes to the bottoms of my fingers. Okay.
I'm trying to like picture it now.
Right, I'm trying. Jody, what you mean? Jody will make a video tomorrow, so make sure you go look at his page because he will explain this in a video tomorrow because he is phenomenal about that. That's one thing I do appreciate about Jody's channel is like if he talks about something on like a show and people are like, what? There's usually a video the next day that explains it, and we're like, because us visual learners out here with ADHD, like,
yeah, like I need a hand to hold to be able to picture this right now.
Right. When you say the bottoms of your fingers, are you talking about like the patty part, or like when you're gripping and like these turn into the bottom of your fingers, or is these always the tips of your fingers? Like no matter if they're like this or like this, like, that's where my mind goes. And
I
people
don't
think I'm
know.
being
Yeah.
obtuse, but no, like I'm serious. Like I'm show me the way you think, because
Yeah.
the way
I need to know.
not not the way that many people comprehend things, and it's usually wrong. 'Cause I have a very rainbow mind. Oh, here we go. All right, so like in the strap, my attention goes to supinating rather than pronating. Tapping the thumb gets you higher on your opponent's hand. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we on the same page. I got you.
Okay.
That makes sense. Appreciate you explaining that. For sure. So, what is the next event for you?
Next event would be this coming weekend. I'm gonna do that women's tournament, that MAC tournament, in Rochester. And then after that, I think end of January. Hold on here. I wrote down the events. There's the Daneliak Armwrestling. That's coming up soon. I think end of the month.
Nice.
And then Armcats Showdown in Hamilton. That's going to be a big one. That is, I think, January 31st.
Okay.
I'm going to try and make it out to both of those. It's like
you're looking at 3 tournaments in a row.
Yeah, that's usually ends up happening now.
Nice.
More than not. It's actually hard to find a weekend to host like the turn and burn practices because I'm now competing every weekend.
Right.
So it's a little bit difficult, but we have one coming up this weekend on Sunday.
Nice.
I will be probably pretty sore from the tournament. But
For sure. But it'll be totally worth it.
Exactly. Worth it.
Just grip up with the newer ladies.
Yeah, there you go. And I can just let everybody else pull.
Exactly. I love it. So when you are you gonna be going to the North American? Are you looking at IFA, WFA, WAF at all, or
if I feel ready, we'll see where turn and burn is. We'll see, if I'm supposed to have my hip surgery any day now, so we'll see where that is by that point. I'm hoping to go to the North American Championships, but
okay,
it's just kind of about timing, and we'll see what happens.
That's fair. Well, very cool. Well, that's awesome if you do get to go. Let us know how you do. I'm excited.
Of course.
So awesome. Is there anyone in particular that you're looking to really grip up with? I know you say you and Kyrie go back and forth, and so for me, Scarlett is my main rival, and she knows this, so y'all don't have to screen record and be like, Lucky said you were her rival. She knows. We go back and forth, and I love gripping up with Scarlett. I love every match that we've ever pulled with each other, whether she's won or I've won. It's just always been real fun. But I definitely have other girls that I'm like, I don't want to see what she feels like.
There was one girl that I pulled just in a practice. It was actually at Madi Gagne's her birthday party. We had an arm wrestling party. Yeah. I went and I met Robin Reed for the first time.
I love Robin.
She, I think, was, and I'm, not to say she's my favorite puller, but I loved pulling with her. I absolutely loved it. She was so, oh, let's try this and see what happens. Or, we got to talk about new techniques. I got to try new things. I could trust that, let's say I go into a press, she's not going to try and yank me out of it. We can try different things and see what happens. So I really liked pulling with her, and I want to pull her again for sure. More practice, though.
And she's a lady like you, right? Isn't she?
I would say so.
Yeah. Okay. Not that you have to tell me how much she weighs, but I just know that she's not, and she's not open weight.
Yeah, I think she's similar weight to me. Maybe I don't know. Honestly, I'm gonna say she's around the same weight. That's that's how she felt, so maybe.
Right.
But I've yet to pull her in a tournament or anything like that. I've only pulled her once in practice, and I was blown away.
I love it. I love that. No, but that camaraderie is so important when you can have somebody that you can truly practice with. Like that,
Mhm.
that's so important because there's, I notice it, like it's easier. I feel like with the ladies to practice with the ladies. Um, Sometimes it's harder to practice with guys, especially if they don't understand like how to pull with a woman or a girl on the table. Um, so yeah, I've been fortunate enough that I've been able to practice with a lot of girls, but there are some girls that I just, or my friends won't grip up with, certain people or after pull with certain, styles, because I mean,
Mhm.
not every style you can practice with.
It's very true, and I find that, more often than not with the guys, is you pull the wrong one that has a bit of an ego, and if, you're giving it, like, 80, 90%, they might get a little bit upset, and they might, kinda yank on your arm, tear you open, whatever. I've had that happen, a couple times, and that's not very nice for the ladies,
No.
but
No. Yeah, and I think like my team is, and I'm sure Ottawa Open or Ottawa High Hookers is very much this very similar in the sense that like I'm very protected at my practice, and like when we do get newer guys and they want me to, practice with them, they keep them in check, pretty easily, and I like having them be the voice for me rather than me sound like a whiny crybaby.
yeah, yeah,
And they're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" Like, don't do that. They get into that brother bear, like protective
yeah,
mode. And so guys, if you're practicing with a female, make sure your other guy friends are doing what they're supposed to do. Please and thank you. Oh, you found
yes, very much.
So, because I mean, that's really important. I think for us when they can let them know like, hey, this is how you need to practice with them, or ask her. Like if you don't know like what we want, then just talk to us. Like, you want me to stonewall you? You want me to give you a little? You want me to put you on this side, put you on that side? Like, what do you want? So. I think the
Yeah.
key, obviously, and that's true for anybody. Like, no matter the gender, the key to a successful practice is just communication.
Well, and we know because men play video games and they communicate very well amongst their peers. So we know that they can communicate with us. They just sometimes choose not to.
Right, right.
Sure.
So Calvin John asks, here's a random question I saw Devin asking. Why aren't there any female kings movers? Is there a physical difference that makes it that difficult for a woman? For women.
I have the answer to this.
Okay, cool, because my
Um,
answer wasn't gonna be nice.
yeah, aside from the obvious not nice answer, so women's anatomy, our elbows actually turn out 15 degrees more than men, typically. So to King's move, our tendons and our muscles would just have to be like way, 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 way too much, like hard as a rock to be able to do that safely. Like I think that, when you're super tight, like you see Devin walking around, he can't even straighten his arms. You
Right.
know, my boyfriend, he can't even straighten one of his arms anymore. Um, Not a lot of women end up like that, even when they've been pulling for a long time, and that's because we just have different anatomy. So King's move isn't as effective as it would be with a man, for sure.
Love that. Man, I'm clipping that. That needs to go down in the history books of the world's best answer. So I love it. I love it. Good job, Maddie. Thank you for explaining that. And even the science behind it. Like, girl, what?
Because and you know what? It's because Devin, he was like, "Why don't you King's move?" He was trying to convince me to be the first King's mover, and I was like, "You know what? Let me do some research and see why I can't King's move, because I can't. Like, my elbows hyperextend."
Right.
So, I did do my research on that.
So as you can see, He's decided to come and ruin the show.
Oh, now that my cat's gone, they can't have a play date.
Right? Sorry, buddy, you missed your opportunity. Say hi. Do you say hi?
Oh my god, so cute.
Yeah, he's my little Obi-Wan Kenobi. All of my cats and dogs are named after Star Wars characters. Please do not
No
call
way.
me back.
That's funny.
Yeah. Please do not claw my back. Go get down if you're gonna do that. I don't like that. That doesn't feel good. Thank you.
Cats are honestly so mischievous.
Right? He said interesting, so there is an actual answer. Thanks. Yeah. And a
There
pretty
is an actual
one.
answer.
There is. Not that mine wasn't gonna be nice, but it definitely was gonna be sarcastic. So with you, like, I think this question is really important just because of your desire to really grow the sport. So, I'm gonna put like a twist on it a little bit, but I still want to keep the same energy of like, how can, if anybody's particular interested in gripping up, what would be your advice to them? But also, like, what's your advice to other ladies that are also looking to grow the sport in their area? Like, what have you found that work? What have you found really works to really grow and build on something like Turn and Burn?
A big one is just building trust, right? Like, I go to different practices with different teams. The ladies know me. Even the guys know me. They'll encourage their female friends to come out and say, "Hey, this person is great. They can teach you." Like, it's a very intimidating environment to walk into straight away, unless you have a room full of ladies. So that's the whole point. And to, let's say you want to go to a club and, you don't want to be alone there. Bring a friend. Bring a guy friend. Bring a girlfriend. Bring a whole posse. It doesn't really matter, just bring people. It doesn't matter who's there. It doesn't matter if they even arm wrestle. Like, whatever makes you feel comfortable to go into a club and get on a table, because that's how you're going to improve. That's how you're going to learn. Table time. 100%.
Love it. Love it. That's great. That's perfect. So what are some ways that we can support you moving forward, or other ladies that are watching, or even promoters or gentlemen watching the show?
For promoters, I know that they do struggle with getting sometimes like ladies matches. And that's because it's really hard to find a really good matchup, a really fair matchup. It's got to be kind of the same weight category, about the same experience sometimes. Like, there's a bigger difference I find with 10 pounds in a man versus 10 pounds in a woman. Like, it could be very, very different. So kind of finding a good match is really important to actually get those good wars. Like, you want a match to, kind of get stuck between, the middle of the table, or, it goes on for a long time, or, everyone just gets hyped up, right? That's what's going to get you the views, the recognition, especially for women. Like, we want to watch women. Like, I want to watch the men's ones. Yes, of course. But I would also love to see some good women arm wrestling. So I think that's a big one for promoters.
Right.
Tournaments. It's hard to cater to the women who are already arm wrestling, because you can't necessarily make more weight classes. You can't create more super matches if there's just straight up not enough women.
Right.
That's I think the biggest issue for the promoters, for the tournaments, for the clubs. There's just not enough of us that are just participating in general.
Right.
So if we create that environment, and then we create a bigger growth of the women, then we can have more women catered things in the tournaments and the matches, and all this stuff. So I think it kind of stems with that. If the women from different places can start getting more women, that would definitely help us a lot.
For
For
sure.
sure.
Definitely. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So you've mentioned 3 amazing tournaments over the next 3 weeks that we will definitely share the posters for. So check out the Lucky Ones podcast, our group and our Instagram stories too. We try to put a lot of that stuff. So if you want to shoot me, I think I have the one. I don't have the one for this Saturday. So if you wouldn't mind shooting that over to me, I'll make sure I share it
Yeah,
out.
for sure.
And then, we'll check out those other 2 as well. Just go ahead and send me all 3 because I'm pretty sure I
I'll
have
send you all
2
of
of
them.
them. Yeah, send me all of them so that I know for sure I have them on my hit you up later and be like, JK. So make sure you check out Lucky Ones podcast on Facebook and on Instagram. Follow Madi, Facebook, Instagram. You want people on your Facebook? I'll tell them just to go to your Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram, doesn't matter. All the above. That's
Very
great.
cool. Don't be weird. All right, if you follow her,
Yeah,
don't be weird.
come on now.
And yeah, so we will definitely share that information out. I'm super excited for you with Turn and Burn. Like, I had Iddy on the show a little bit ago, and she was talking to us about it. And so I'm like, man, let go. We gotta go. So
Oh yeah.
I'll definitely be up to harass y'all now that I got my little passport ready to go. Passport. I feel like I have to like add a little oomph to it because that thing was not cheap. So it's not a passport, it's a passport. So but yeah, so thank you so much for your time this evening. I know you're gonna get ready to go to a practice tonight, so go and kill it. Good luck to you, enjoy, and let us know anything that you need. We're here to help. We're here to just support you in all the ways. But girl, keep on slaying, keep on killing, keep on growing the sport. Thank you for everything you're doing, truly. It really means a lot to us ladies when there are people who are willing to sacrifice to make the sport better for us. So thank you, girl. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, y'all, I will see you all Saturday. We will have our regularly scheduled show Saturday night with Miss Tara from California. Nope, from Nevada. So I'm super excited to show the West Coast ladies some love. So y'all have a great night, and we will see you all Saturday.